Great to have you here. We wanted to have everybody just give a short introduction on who you are and what your company is doing. We'll dig into the what's your project a little bit later on, but maybe you start because you're online.
Right, okay. Happy to do that. Yeah, sorry at the beginning here that I can't be here physically. However, there was some really severe things which hold me from traveling today. Yeah, Peter Busch, some of you might know me already. I work for Bosch in automotive strategy, and we do really Web3 since like 6-7 years when it was not called Web3. So we started really with the economy of things issues, really trying to understand what kind of blockchains are out there, what kind of decentralization strategies a huge industry industry participant like Bosch should go for in the future with our services or products. Main point, of course, what we're talking about later may be decentralization versus central approaches of data access and all that. From my point of view now, really in the last years, it gets more and more interesting. And this is the second part, which I here as I'm the chair of the Fetch.ai Foundation as well. So Bosch has founded the foundation together with Fetch.ai, which we are evaluating and working with since as well 5 or 6 years already, and to bring together a governance system, to bring together a non-profit organization, to bring together decentralization AI models, which is the other huge hype, which is doing a lot with the industry at the moment, and really bring these technologies together and trying to sort out which of the interesting other industry participants could join these very, very interesting movements. So just from the beginning here.
Yeah, I have eaten up the entire time of you and Benjamin. Benjamin, please join the panel. We have seen Benjamin and he introduced himself already, so we spare this time. Thank you. Please take a seat over there. Then we have Eduard Grün. Where is he, Eduard? Yes. Please join us and give us a short introduction about you and your role. And take a seat next to Benjamin.
Yeah. Hi. Yes, my name is Eduard Grün. I've been involved in a couple of industrial blockchain use cases with my former employer, a big industrial automation supplier. So we did some pay-per-use stuff for your manufacturing machines, and also a decentralized marketplace where you could put your machine to get more jobs done for that machine. Now I'm with GFT. I'm responsible for the industrial use cases there. So we're looking into helping our customers with their industrial blockchain and DLT use cases. What to say about GFT? Well, historically we do much in the banking space, so helping the banks to gain traction in the DLT space. One of the main topics is helping them to get on and off ramps for crypto offerings. And what we are starting right now is sort of reward asset tokenization to get more stuff done there.
Great, wonderful. Nice to have you here. Next one on my list is Daniela. Daniela Barbosa, please join us on the panel and take a seat next to Eduard and give us a short introduction about you and Hyperledger.
Sure. So good morning, everyone. My name is Daniela Barbosa. I am the general manager across the Linux Foundation for Blockchain and Identity Projects. And I also have the honor of serving as executive director of the Hyperledger Foundation, which is one of the largest and oldest enterprise-focused blockchain foundations in the world. For those of you who don't know the Linux Foundation, just a very quick overview. For the last 25 plus years, the Linux Foundation has been the home of the most important open source projects. How many people here were on the internet today? Nobody was on the internet? What do you guys do in Germany? Just kidding. Pretty much every supercomputer is powered by the Linux kernel. If you watch movies, for example, all open source 3D rendering are homed in the Linux Foundation. Since 2015, we've been the home for blockchain. There is no doubt that blockchain and decentralized technologies, open source has won. And we're really excited about what we're seeing, which is what Moritz is talking about, which is real implementation of blockchain. And I look forward to this panel today.
Great, wonderful to have you here. Last but not least, woman, Stammes from ERGO Insurance Group. Great to have you here. Please take a seat and give us a short introduction about yourself and your organization.
Hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Moritz Schildt and I'm the project manager. It's called Metaverse at ERGO. And Metaverse for ERGO consists out of 3 parts. It's spatial computing, AI, and of course Web3. And Web3 is my responsibility. And we now started to build a new department at ERGO and look into the field of blockchain. I just started in December last year, so it's quite a new topic for the insurance company. But because of the current new mark and tokenization drift we have, that's what could be really interesting for ERGO and for insurance companies.
Perfect. As you can see, we have a broad portfolio of applications from real industry, if I may put it that way, Benjamin, to the more fancy part of it, which is Metaverse. May I start with you, because we wanted to dig a little bit deeper on the why. So how comes that your organization, particularly yours, is a very traditional conservative organization? What started the idea of you want to do something like that? What are the advantages your organization is expecting from using Metaverse in particular things?
Yeah, for ERGO, was like a really funny story because the CEO reads the novel Snow Crash. It is a book about Metaverse. Right. And then he started like digging into this topic. What is Metaverse? What is spatial computing? Why we need maybe digital identities, SSIs? And what can blockchain do for us as an insurance company? Because when we have smart contracts and other infrastructures, maybe it makes sense to dig into the topic and have new products for our customers, or maybe custom product we have right now, we can change it with blockchain technology to a better product or better products. And this is why, we built a new department right next under the CDO. And of course, the CDO is also really interested in the topic. And this is why we built now the new department.
The focus is on relationship with potential clients and marketing, and not so much about using blockchain in operations, as one would say. They have digital insurance contracts, automatic claim, smart contracts doing the automatic claim payment and so on, but not yet on your agenda.
Yeah, the main focus, and it's not marketing, the main focus is what needs our customer. That's like the main focus. And because it's a more traditional field and everything is like market regulated, and we just have trust as a selling proposition. So we need to keep the trust of our customers. And yeah, we are digging right into that and see what wants the market, what is necessary, and what is like, because no insurance company is in this field because everyone fears the new infrastructure. But we have to be one of the first to see what happens next.
There have been some affiliate marketing projects in the German industry with clients where they use NFTs as a means of building a closer client relationship. Is that something that's on your agenda as well?
Yeah.
Okay, quite cool. Let me move to Hyperledger, which is different from this, has been much deeper into the sector, has been the basis for many projects, and I don't think we can cover them all. So maybe what are your 2 or 3 most relevant projects that have been built on the basis of Hyperledger or on the German industry?
Yeah, so in 2015, when Hyperledger was formed, 23 global companies, including SAP and Deutsche Bank, got together and said, we need to collaborate on building, and Bosch actually got together and said, we need to collaborate on building enterprise-grade open source projects. In 2015, 2016, it was very much about permission distributed ledgers. And the first project that came into the foundation was called Hyperledger fabric. It's still one of the most used. V3 just got released, really great features, and it's still the selected choice for permission distributed ledgers. Today, if you look at the history of all our projects, we have 13 different projects, including, for example, Hyperledger Besu, which was one of the most used Ethereum virtual machines. Besu also runs about 12% of the Ethereum mainnet as an execution client. So what you see in Hyperledger, and whether it's in Germany or all around the world, is the evolution of using these technologies to bring the things that blockchain specifically can bring into businesses, for example, in regards to efficiencies, in regards to building better customer experiences, in regards to doing things like using the technology to open up new business opportunities. And we're seeing that across the board, whether it is through supply chain, for example, traceability projects, also central bank digital currencies. A lot of the Hyperledger projects are very tightly coupled with all the experimentation and production implementations of central bank digital currencies. Love them or hate them. I'm not here to discuss the policy, but the technology. And what we see over and over again is the technology scales. This technology is production ready. And it is a lot about getting the right use cases in the market that are going to bring value, whether the value is efficiencies to your company or whether the value is new revenue models. And we're, that's, kind of our focus over the last 8 years has been helping companies, whether in Germany or elsewhere, to use open source and the technologies that we have available.
Wonderful, thank you, Daniela. Eduard, so your kind of most relevant project within GFT group currently, where do you think lies the future, which has the most potential when you look at your?
I think if you're looking at manufacturing or industrial in general, there are several drivers. So if you produce something, you're the single one building everything. You buy your screws, you buy your parts, and that brings up this trust issue you have. Is this screw really that one you ordered, and is it specified how you needed it? And you also mentioned it very good in your keynote. You have to get some technical solution for this issue. So you naturally could look into procurement and test everything every part you get into your manufacturing line or assembly line, but that won't help you with getting a streamlined approach and getting your product out fast. So if we can digitize that and help with a streamlined supply chain, that would help. And then on the other hand, if you look into assembly line, it's, I would say, a really highly distributed system. You have so many different devices and manufacturers there, and they have to somehow cooperate with each other to build your product. So that's also a natural fit for a blockchain or a DLT solution in that case. So what we see is the customers or users are interested in how could they, on the other one side, can streamline their supply chain or get more information out of that, and on the other hand, how could they utilize their machines more? And that's why we came up with this machine marketplace, where we put the machines onto the decentralized marketplace to get that offered of the machine. Like, I'm a drilling machine, and I have some spare time in the next 3 times. I could produce something for an external customer maybe. And that's always a question in manufacturing. Is this machine I bought there really worth it? Is it utilized to 100% or 80%? And I think we could bring real benefit with DLT solutions.
Mainly about optimizing processes internally, or do you use this blockchain to kind of exchange with collaborators?
We'll do it internally. I know the blockchain would make sense. So we could use any database then, because, well, we don't trust ourselves. How could we operate then? So you have to get out with this and put it in the public to get used by others then.
Okay. The FTC reminds me of Peter, who's online. Can you maybe, you already explained a little bit about the broad portfolio of things you're doing within Bosch and within Fetch.ai. So maybe what's your number one project where you believe will have the largest impact from a Bosch perspective?
Right. What I didn't talk about before was we as well are in the public funding space. So here we are working together tightly with the official government side in terms of decentralized identities. And I already heard that in the roundup again. It is the third part which is really starts us most, because in the future, any product, any service we talk about with the industry partners, with the OEMs and others, is how to authenticate in the future, how to verify who you really are. When it comes to in-car payment, for example, when it comes to verified data exchange, car-to-car or infrastructure, and all that, these are really the killer use cases of the future. And therefore, we need a decentralized identity. Therefore, we need distributed marketplaces to exchange democratically or more really with no login data to each other. And on the other side as well, get use of or using the AI models of the future and exactly know where does the data come from, which feeds the AI models, for example. Combine this all, know exactly who you are in the connectivity space of the future, what data you are using, and last but not least, how to monetize the data which you are generating, which you are using, and all that. And all that together really gets this killer use case I said when it comes to the typical uses that we need in the future, like going B2B and interacting with all the things around you, using large language models to make a better use of the data which is around you, and do that in a decentralized and really trusted way. Yeah, and since the governments in Europe really are very, very strict on that in the future, really exactly know who the data is coming from, who is talking to whom, and just do this decentralized, not always with centralistic approaches, which is monolithic hyperscaler that you see everywhere around. So this, I think, is a very generic answer. However, you can find just every use case which comes into the car in the traffic of the future, where you need to exchange data, where you need to authenticate yourself. This is exactly this technology we're looking for, and this is the main use case we are striving for.
Okay. It's up to you, Benjamin. I think using blockchain to create trustable data is the core of your project as well. However, which one of these broad portfolio projects is the one that is closest to your heart, or which one is the one that you are most likely to be the most successful?
So I would say maybe closest to my heart is the social media app we built.
All right.
It was a very early idea we had. And
which is not typical for an automotive producer to start a social media app.
Closest to the heart from the user perspective and from the feedback from our customers is Farm United topic, because we can really explain how to solve some efficiency topics, how to reduce water consumption, how to reduce rain consumption, how to really make it professional for the farmers to use the blockchain, monetize their own data. So that's a story you can really simply tell to anybody, and anybody will understand it. I don't have to talk about blockchain and DLT. I can just tell, hey, you can sell your data by yourself. It's not somebody else that's grabbing your data and selling it for you and not letting you participate in it. So that's a story which is really, really easy to sell. But to be honest, the biggest topic we are working on is building the infrastructure to make this happen. So what Peter just said with authentication, to be compliant to the European regulations in terms of transactions, for example, so find out who did the transactions, build the entire wallet infrastructure, build the fiat on and off ramp, send invoices. We know in Europe we have 2 digits after the comma. Sorry, after the point, and not 6 with Bitcoin or even more with other cryptocurrencies. So there's like some hurdles from proof of concept to going into serial production. And so that's like what I showed, it's easy to show, but what we're building internally, it's really tough to build because it hasn't been done before.
Yeah, just because Roman mentioned that the process within ERGO was driven by the CEO. How does it work within your organization? How supportive is the senior management? Are there obstacles to overcome, or was it easy peasy?
It's not easy peasy, but our CEO is exactly the main person who's driving the entire project, and I think that's very helpful, of course.
I would like to have one single sentence answer to one question, and my question would be: what is your blockchain project in the German industry, not yours, someone else's, which you admire the most? Benjamin, one single sentence answer. What's the number one project?
I do like the traffic management system from Peak very well.
Okay. Peter, other projects like Fetch.ai that you perceive?
Which moves me the most at the moment really is how to approach the AI hype with decentralized technologies and combine that with the ideas.
Who is leading that space? Can you name?
Do you mean from our perspective, the stakeholders in Bosch, or in the industry? What do you mean?
Industry, someone else's project.
Or someone else's project. I think definitely when it comes to the OEMs, where I can say names, definitely when it comes to really having trust anchors in the cars. That's really having the basis of all these decentralized technologies and have a means of a basis of doing all that, in-car payment, data exchange, machine learning models on the car. This is really the one of the most ambitious projects which is currently ongoing.
A single sentence, maybe, and do it even shorter. Eduard, which is your lighthouse project?
Yeah, I can't also tell the maker because they didn't start, but I think that their idea has really big potential, especially in manufacturing. And what they will do is combining what we call the asset administration shell, which is some industrial talk for the digital product passport on DLT. And I think that's something we really need to get more transparency in where our stuff comes from, or how this is done. And yeah,
Perfect. Daniela.
So I think a lot of this gets driven by regulation. So the European Union's digital passport initiatives, specifically around electronic battery and tracing the minerals that are made for EV batteries. There's an organization called Circular. They're based in London, but they do a lot of work with the car manufacturers, including Volvo, I think is one of the biggest producers. And they're tracking essentially that mineral from a circular perspective to not only make sure that you can say where the minerals came from and how the battery is produced in the lifetime of the battery, but also very importantly from a sustainability perspective, which one of those minerals will then be able to be recycled. So it's the company's called Circular. Volvo is one of the investors in that platform. And I think they're really making an impact and have been since 2017 using the technology in the marketplace.
One single sentence, ERGO, some projects that are outside ERGO that you personally admire?
So personally, I admire most NFT project from Bertelsmann because it is a really low-hanging fruit. And it's not just the C-level ones.
Which one's the Elisa one or
They create NFTs for companies,
okay.
And then the organization can have a community. And so it's not only driven by the C-level, but the organization and the employees themselves can have or can learn the blockchain technology on a gamified way. And this is like really easy to get the organization into the blockchain topic, because I think it's really important.
Cool, interesting. We have 5 more minutes, and I would like to just touch base on the fact on how is your organization, your effort perceived by cooperators, competitors, clients? Do they say, hey, that's really cool and innovative, or are there obstacles? Are people hesitant? Benjamin, what's your experience so far when you talk to suppliers and tell them about your vision? Do they think you're crazy?
No, they perceive this very good and very innovative. So there was a lot of discussion in the beginning about risk of your reputation Of course, it's a fear to us being in the market.
This internal or external discussion about reputation? Okay, interesting.
And now that we really moved out and made things public, none of these fears realized. So reputation is not a topic. It's exactly the other way around. Being an industry and connecting to blockchain technology makes you outstanding in terms of innovation.
Eduard, is that your perception as well?
It depends on the industry. So we've been working on also a supply chain transparency project, and the procurement colleague was like, yeah, we have to contact that supplier. He's delivering perfect work. He's open to new stuff. He will certainly come with us on this project. And we did a workshop with him, and his first sentence was like, okay, why with me? I always performed and gave you good results. So why do you want to have more transparency in my data? That's on the one side, but on the other hand, we have a good project with bank doing some real-world asset tokenization there, and they are quite happy to have somebody on hand which helps them with this process, because they don't have the knowledge and experience doing such stuff. So depends on the industry.
Daniela, so what's your experience, particularly in Germany? Is there skepticism, or are more and more clients, corporation partners keen on entering the blockchain space?
Yeah, I think very specifically for the Hyperledger Foundation, if you haven't taken a look at the Hyperledger Foundation since 2017 and 2018, you'll be very surprised about the kind of work that's happening within the foundation and how we're addressing real technology needs. There are skeptics. There's still people who refuse to go and use cloud computing, right? I mean, this industry is a long term. It is not a short-term thing. If you think about how enterprises and enterprise software goes into adoption, it needs regulatory requirements. You have to have compliance sign off. You have to have training. You have to have engineers that understand the technology. So it's a long game. It is not a short game where things, and we see a lot of successes, small successes, but also lots of big ones that actually don't want to talk about blockchain. They won't put out a press release saying that they've deployed a distributed ledger platform that has 100 vendors and partners in it, because they're afraid to talk about blockchain, and then their compliance people pulls up. So I think, overall, and Germany is no different than what we see elsewhere. We're seeing a lot in financial markets with digital assets and tokenization, as well as driving, once again, efficiencies in the manufacturing sector as well.
So Roman, you mentioned earlier that you belong to this small group of insurance companies in Germany that are already into the space. How do you see Bundesverband der Versicherungsgesellschaften react? Are you looked at as a canary bird and something special, or are the others keen on learning from you and adapting?
Exactly. So I think most of the others are right now looking what we are doing and what are the steps, because we have to fit into the regulatory, legal, and all the other stuff, because we're BaFin regulated. And I think we have a really nice standpoint on what we want to try out and what we can do. We just have to fit into the rules. And we have a good team right now from the legal department, and figure out what the market wants and is asking for. And the next things you can see in 3 months.
Okay. How about you, Peter? Just a brief final remark on your perception. What do competitors think about you? Because I think Bosch is quite innovative. Do you get positive feedback, or?
We are seen as a peer really in the decentralization space, really. However, what helped us most in the last years now was the push from the government, the regulatory in terms of decentralization, in terms of wallet and all that. And as well, it's a naming game. As Daniela just pointed out, we are not allowed to call it blockchain anymore. Web3 is already dangerous to talk about. So we talk about decentralization. However, if we as Bosch come to a place and talk about it, they listen to us. And we are not these weird esoterics anymore as from the past. So it's getting more and more serious game now with this topics. But naming is all at the moment.
Perfect, wonderful. We have come to an end. Thank you for my wonderful panel for sharing your insight. Please give a big applause to them.